Hi, I am an atheist. In fact, I'm a new atheist. I've only been an atheist for 3 years. Prior to that, I was a born-again Christian for like over 30 years. So yeah, I kind of, whatever. I have some experience as both. Anyway, since I became an atheist, I've been kind of just ravenously hungry to feed. I mean, when I was a Christian, I was so discouraged to ask questions. Anyway, this video that I found on YouTube, I wanted to share it because it asks a question that supposedly atheists fear. I didn't know atheists feared any questions. I thought we actually hungered for questions. We went after them. We relished having questions. So this is going to be an interesting video. I'm just going to let it run and then just give my thoughts after because otherwise this will get too long. So here we go.
Okay, today we're going to talk about the one question that all atheists fear, or at the very least, they really hate to try and answer this question. I've been debating, going back and forth with atheists for just over a year now, and sometimes I feel like catnip, and I feel like they think they're the cat. They see a Christian and they want to pounce on me and play, and just like they do with everybody else. And they always pose this question, and the question is, give me the evidence that Christianity is true, that Jesus is God, things of that nature. So I'll thinking they're honest, I'm going to go down the evidence, and I'll cite the scientific evidence, the historical evidence, the archaeological evidence, third-party evidence, fulfilled prophetic evidence, statistical probabilities. I'll cite the eyewitness accounts of over 500 people that saw the events. 25,000 pieces of parchments and documents that are original and show that the text has never been altered. I go through mountains and mountains of evidence, only to have them say at the end, well, that doesn't really count. That's not really evidence. You still don't have any proof that God exists, and you certainly don't have any proof that Jesus is God. Well, the first time I heard that, it was pretty stunning. I was actually stunned into silence. I didn't know what to say to that, because whenever you're speaking with somebody, you show them evidence, naturally you think that they're actually going to look at the evidence and find out for sure for themselves, like millions and actually billions of other people have done, that it actually does exist. But an atheist will just sort of brush it all aside and say that it doesn't really count. Well, I came on the one question that all atheists fear and no atheist can answer by accident. Because one day I was so flustered I said, okay, show me the evidence you have to prove that God does not exist. And I got an answer like this. It was a blank stare. They don't have evidence that God doesn't exist. None. They never have. And the very thing they accuse Christians of having, which is blind faith, turns out is exactly what atheists have. They have no evidence to support their position. They have no evidence to support that God doesn't exist. So they live with a blind faith that God doesn't exist. I thought that was interesting and a little bit poetic. That's it for this video.
Wow. Okay, I'll try to sum up what I think of that real fast. I didn't realize that atheists went around playing and pouncing on Christians and it sounds like he thinks that we're like, predatory animals. I don't know why he would think that. Anyway, right. Actually, as a Christian, that's kind of what I was encouraged to do. I was encouraged to go up to people, and I never did this because I thought it was rude. But a good Christian, this is what I was taught, is always on the lookout for a chance or an opportunity to save somebody, to bring up the subject of God and Jesus and the one way people can go to heaven and avoid burning forever in hell, So that's what I got when I was a Christian a lot. I chose to not. I was actually a very pretty much laid back, not in your face person about it. But we were encouraged to talk about it. We were encouraged to express ourselves, to sing, to witness, to cry, and get these warm, fuzzy religious emails or spam, that we would send to everybody, just assuming that everybody believes just like we do. That's how my life was when I was a Christian. Now, as an atheist, it's the exact opposite. Atheists are to be seen and not heard. They don't want to hear a contradictory opinion. They don't want to hear anything except what they want to hear. And for an atheist to speak out or to say what they believe, well, you're going to lose friends. You might even lose your family. So, I don't really think that very many of us are running around trying to find our next victim. Okay, mountains and mountains and mountains. He said he was going to list a whole bunch of evidences. He said he was going to cite them all. Well, his video was 2 minutes and 36 seconds. He never actually listed any evidence that I heard. Maybe I'm going deaf, but I don't think I heard any evidence. He said something about original text. There's no original text. Everybody, when I was 5 years old, I knew that the Bible had been translated over and over and over and over. There's no original text. And the authors of the New Testament are very highly suspect. I mean, anonymous writers wrote the 4 Gospels, hired very likely by the Roman Church. They were written after Jesus' death. There's no evidence, okay? There is no evidence. There's not one shred of evidence for the proof of God. I think most atheists would really love to see a Christian produce evidence. We're all waiting. We're waiting. We've been waiting for a long time. Just give us some evidence that there is a God, please. Give us some evidence that a Jesus existed. Just something. Can you even give us some evidence to support creationism? Because as far as I know, there's nothing that in today's world that shows creationism happening right now. I mean, evolution is happening right now all around us, but where is creationism? I mean, I don't see any creationism happening right now in the world. There's nothing. Did God just decide he wasn't going to create anymore? There's no evidence for it. No evidence for God, no evidence for Jesus, no evidence that anything in the Bible really happened. I mean, was a Bethlehem around when Jesus was born? Was there ever a Nazareth during Jesus' lifetime? Do people even bother to research their religion? Anyway, as to his question, which I had to wait almost to the very end of his video to hear, he's asking me to prove there is no God. I'm not the one making the extraordinary claim. I'm thinking the person who has the extraordinary claim that a supernatural being in the sky exists, the burden of proof is on him. But apparently, and I've heard this before, Christians can't prove the existence of their God or Jesus, because this guy, he's got all this stuff to say, but he has not produced one shred. He's not said one thing that's proof. He didn't cite any proof in his little tiny video. And no Christian has. There's no proof for these things. But ask a Christian to give some proof of these things, and they'll turn around and they'll say to the atheist, well, prove it doesn't exist. I think it's impossible to prove that something that doesn't exist doesn't exist. But hey, congratulations for trying to take the attention off yourselves. The day you can come up with proof is the day that maybe atheists will start taking you seriously. That's all. Bye.